Bubba Wallace has become the center of a growing controversy after NASCAR's decision to penalize him following the dramatic finish at Atlanta's EchoPark Speedway. What initially looked like a hard-fought second-place finish quickly turned into a heated debate when officials ruled that Wallace violated the track boundary rule by going below the yellow line on the final lap. The penalty dropped the 23 Alpin's racing driver to the last car on the lead lap and immediately triggered accusations from some fans that NASCAR was unfairly targeting one of its most recognizable stars. The conspiracy theories gained momentum on social media, where supporters argued that Wallace never gained an advantage from the move and was instead trying to avoid a dangerous accident. Wallace himself challenged NASCAR's interpretation of the rule, explaining that he lifted off the throttle and did not improve his position. After a lengthy meeting between 23X Racing and NASCAR officials, however, the sanctioning body refused to reverse the decision. As outrage spread online, many fans pointed to what they viewed as inconsistent enforcement of NASCAR's track limit regulations. Critics highlighted previous superspeedway finishes where drivers were either penalized or allowed to continue under similar circumstances, fueling speculation that Wallace had been treated differently. The yellow line rule has generated controversy for years and remains one of the most debated regulations in the sport. Adding even more attention to the story, NASCAR Hall of Famer Dale Earnhardt Jr. once again found himself involved in the discussion surrounding the controversial rule. Earnhardt Jr. has previously argued that NASCAR should reconsider or even eliminate the yellow line rule because of the confusion and inconsistency it often creates in dramatic finishes. His past criticism resurfaced as fans revisited whether the current system is still effective in modern NASCAR racing. The controversy has overshadowed several major storylines from Atlanta, including Ryan Blaney's victory and Carson Hocevar's near-breakthrough performance. Instead, much of the NASCAR world has spent the week analyzing replays of Wallace's final lap maneuver, debating whether the penalty was justified or whether it became another example of officiating inconsistency at superspeedway races. As NASCAR heads toward its next event, the debate shows no signs of slowing down. While there is no evidence supporting claims of a deliberate effort by NASCAR to stop Wallace, the incident has reignited long-standing concerns about officiating transparency and rule enforcement. For Wallace, the frustration of losing one of his strongest finishes of the season has become motivation moving forward. For NASCAR, the controversy serves as another reminder that every major ruling is now scrutinized by millions of passionate fans. Bubba Wallace became one of the biggest stories in NASCAR this week after a controversial penalty dramatically changed the outcome of the Quaker State 400 at Atlanta's EchoPark Speedway. Wallace crossed the finish line in what appeared to be a strong second-place result, but NASCAR officials later ruled that he violated the sport's yellow line rule on the final lap. The decision dropped the 23X Racing driver 27 positions in the final standings and immediately sparked widespread debate throughout the NASCAR community. The emotional impact on Wallace was evident as he and his team spent more than half an hour meeting with NASCAR officials to challenge the ruling. Wallace argued that he had not gained an advantage by going below the yellow line and even claimed he lifted off the throttle to avoid creating a larger incident. Despite those arguments, NASCAR upheld the penalty, leaving Wallace visibly frustrated after what had initially looked like one of his best finishes of the season. The controversy quickly exploded across social media, where thousands of fans questioned NASCAR's interpretation of the rule. Many supporters felt Wallace was being punished for attempting to avoid a crash rather than intentionally gaining positions. Others defended NASCAR's decision, arguing that the yellow line rule has long been a strict part of superspeedway racing. The divide created one of the most viral NASCAR discussions of the week. Among the most notable reactions came from NASCAR Hall of Famer Dale Earnhardt Jr., who discussed the incident on his media platforms and highlighted the difficulty of enforcing superspeedway rules consistently. Earnhardt Jr. emphasized that situations occurring in the closing moments of pack racing are often far more complicated than they appear on television, fueling further debate among fans and analysts about whether NASCAR should revisit the rulebook. The incident also overshadowed several other major storylines from Atlanta, including Ryan Blaney's victory and Carson Hocevar's near win. Instead of celebrating the race itself, much of the NASCAR world spent the following days analyzing Wallace's final lap move, frame by frame. Television analysts, former drivers and racing insiders continued offering conflicting opinions, ensuring the controversy remained in the headlines long after the checkered flag. As NASCAR now turns its attention toward North Wilkesboro, the Wallace penalty remains one of the defining talking points of the season. For Wallace, the disappointment of losing a podium finish has only added motivation heading into the next race. For NASCAR, however, the incident has reopened questions about officiating consistency and whether one of the sport's most controversial rules still serves its intended purpose in modern racing. One of the biggest viral NASCAR stories this week revolves around Carson Hocevar following his dramatic performance at Atlanta's EchoPark Speedway. The Spire Motorsports driver came within sight of victory before ultimately finishing near the front, but the post-race conversation became even bigger than the result itself. Analysts, fans, and fellow drivers have been debating whether Hocevar's aggressive reputation is now affecting how competitors race against him. The controversy intensified after veteran Denny Hamlin publicly suggested that Hocevar's biggest obstacle is no longer speed, but trust. Hamlin argued that some drivers may be reluctant to work with Hocevar in crucial drafting situations because of previous on-track incidents. At a superspeedway where cooperation often determines the winner, that criticism quickly became one of the most discussed topics across NASCAR media and social platforms. Adding to the buzz, NASCAR's latest post-Atlanta power rankings elevated Hocevar after another impressive showing. Despite entering the weekend under heavy scrutiny due to his feud with Zane Smith and recent controversies, Hocevar remained competitive throughout the race and once again demonstrated why many consider him one of the sport's fastest rising stars. His ability to remain in the spotlight while producing strong results has kept fans talking throughout the week. Another viral story emerged from Bubba Wallace's dramatic penalty after Atlanta. Wallace initially appeared to secure a strong second-place finish, only for NASCAR officials to penalize him for crossing below the yellow line on the final lap while battling Ryan Blaney and Hocevar. The ruling dropped Wallace deep in the finishing order and immediately sparked a wave of backlash from fans, many of whom argued that the punishment was too severe. Meanwhile, NASCAR itself generated headlines by announcing significant rules changes for the upcoming Daytona regular season finale. Officials revealed updates to the superspeedway package after discussions with teams and drivers, a move that many believe could have a major impact on racing strategy and playoff positioning. The announcement quickly became a trending topic as fans debated whether the changes would improve competition or create new challenges. As the series prepares for North Wilkesboro, the spotlight remains firmly on Hocevar. His combination of speed, confidence, and controversy has made him one of NASCAR's most talked about figures. Whether he can convert that attention into victories or whether tensions with fellow drivers continue to follow him has become one of the defining storylines of the 2026 NASCAR season, ensuring that all eyes will be on him in the weeks ahead. Shane Van Gisbergen found himself at the center of one of NASCAR's most heated controversies following the Cup Series race at Chicagoland Speedway. The Trackhouse racing driver became the focus of intense debate after contact with Austin Hill sent Hill's car crashing out of contention early in the event. The incident immediately sparked arguments throughout the garage, with many questioning whether the move was simply hard racing or a deliberate act of retaliation.